A few hours later, they do get a reception, but it's not as planned. The lady of the house, Madame Zhuo, hears a young lady has just been admitted into her residence and immediately assumes her husband has taken up a mistress. She sends her maid over to start a fight and drag them out, but Tong'er isn't having it, furthering the misunderstanding by saying they were invited by the master of the house and she should take it up with him. Ali suggests they take a walk outside in case this gets any more heated. Ali is on the trail of a girl, an old acquaintance of her brother's, trying to find out what happened to him and her father. She knows this is the girl's hometown and after some snooping about, manages to track her down to a brothel. Meanwhile, Duke Su is also at this brothel, himself trying to track down a courtesan named Wu Lan with ties to King Cheng. He manages to get an appointment with her, while Li gets a room with the girl, Cheng Zhi. Duke Su meets with Wu Lan and after a bit of foreplay, he manages to poison her. Every time I think about this scene, why wasn't it a poison blade or something? It just looks so stupid. He tells her she has to work for him now or he won't give her the antidote. Posing as simply a friend of her brother's, Li says she remembers that he liked her quite a bit and was always visiting her. We find out that years ago, when they first met, Cheng Zhi was in serious trouble, struggling to pay back her father's debts. Xue Li's brother found out she was being harassed by the debt collectors and started visiting her often to make sure she was safe. He disappeared one day, and the creditors, seeing he had stopped coming, forced her to work at this brothel. It turns out that Cheng Zhi didn't even know he was dead, she just thought he stopped thinking of her. Ali tells her she's here to investigate his death and asks if she knows anything about what happened. Cheng Zhi shows her a map that her brother gave her on the last day they met. She has no idea what it means, but promises to help find out whatever information she can to help figure out what happened to him. On her way out, Ali runs into Duke Su. Of course, she had to come out all out of breath like she just had the best time of her life. Seeing he's busy, Ali scuttles off in a bit of a huff. Second Uncle Ye comes home to find his wife in tears and his daughter pissed at him for tearing their family apart by bringing home that little fox.
我啊，带回来的，小野狐狸精。Oh!
Once that misunderstanding is resolved, they realize they've done a terrible job of welcoming Ali and send the daughter, Jia to do some damage control.
你们起晚了。
Jia isn't all that friendly, but does agree to take her with her to the family shop. The Ye family are merchants and made their fortune selling mostly fabrics for clothing. Any kind of work that involves working with your hands was looked down on by the lords and ladies. Remember, this was a bone of contention back when Grandma Ye wanted to bring little Jiangli home. At the shop, they find their third uncle throwing a tantrum insisting on borrowing some money, clearly not for the first time. Ali introduces herself to this uncle and he has a flashback to her mother. They were clearly very close siblings. There's a scene of him wishing her happiness as she leaves to be married to Papa Jiang, and then another scene later of him bowing over and over again, begging Grandma Ye to let him bring back her ashes and little Jiangli. So that must have been just after she died, and he was the one who convinced Grandma to go and pick her up. Overcome with emotion, he forgets about borrowing the money and rushes out. After checking out the store a bit, Ali returns home to find her second uncle being taken in for questioning. Apparently, there have been some issues with the fabrics that he has to answer for. This turns out to have been a move by the Li family, still desperate to get their hands on their fortune. They've spread rumors about the family selling faulty brocades that are killing people. The family considers what to do. Second Uncle Ye has been arrested, but there isn't any evidence and there's no trial date set. Li guesses the local governor must be a middleman working for someone else, or there's no way he would be this daring with one of the area's most powerful families. As she noticed how hard the Li brothers were courting Shijie at school and their reaction when he refused them, she puts together that the governor's backer must be the Li family. It's a dangerous situation, but at least they now know Uncle Ye should be safe until they get what they want. In the meantime, they look into the allegations.
有这个传言之后，父亲就派了大量的人手去调查此事，真的发现了一批有问题的古香缎。接触过这批布料的人，全身都起了红疹子。
The next morning, they plan on going to investigate, but they're greeted with the news that their store has been broken into and vandalized by people claiming the brocades they sold hurt them. Meanwhile, Duke Su meets with Big Brother Li. Everyone's in Luoyang. Li has a nice seat watching the villagers swarm the Ye family shop, demanding refunds and reparations, exactly as he planned. Jia steps up and tries to do damage control, but they aren't having it. They accuse her family of cheaping out on the fabrics and using materials that are dangerous for people just to make a quick buck. The police arrive, but it's not to dispel the mob, it's to arrest Jia. Ali steps in. Rushing to the stage, she pulls a knife and cuts off a bit of her clothing. She tells everyone this is made of the supposedly faulty brocade, they can check for themselves. She's been wearing it all day with no reaction. They accuse her of being a shill, but then she introduces herself as Jiang Li. That's right, the very same 10 years in Zhenyu Hall Jiang Li. For a family that would do something like that to even their own daughter, why would they collude with and cover up for some thieving merchants? They might be related, but their families haven't been close for years. Furthermore, she's from the capital. The Ye family's fabrics are sold there too, and there hasn't been a single case. Surely they're not saying all the royals and officials in the capital wouldn't be looking into this if it were true. Then her attention turns to the local cops. This hasn't gone through the proper channels at all. With what evidence did they decide to burst into a potentially innocent man's home and arrest him? The lead cop runs off with his tail between his legs. She offers to not only refund anyone unhappy with their purchase, but also add some money on top of that as a way to apologize. Everyone is satisfied and Duke Su has a bit of fun rubbing the failed plot in Li's face. So how much exactly has Duke Su put together about the Li family's hand in things? I'm surprised he hasn't moved on them. I mean, he's proven himself the shoot first, ask questions later type already, and here, Big Brother Li was hardly even trying to hide the fact that he plotted this. I guess for a man as powerful as Chancellor Li, building up a bevy of irrefutable evidence is the way to go. I don't talk a ton about Duke Su's investigations, not because they're not interesting, but because it really is just this guy leads me to this guy, who leads me to this guy, who leads me to this courtesan. Like now, Wulan is in his employ and helping him track down Chulan, another link in the chain. I'm keeping track of names and things, but they pretty much seem to disappear as soon as they lead to the next person. The scene of Ali running into him at the brothel was rather cute, as well as him going out of his way to explain himself to her later. He is so in love with her already. Also cute are the Ye family. I love casual families like this that are able to joke with each other. They're goofy as hell, but compared to Madame G over there whispering in her daughter's ear that love is useless and only power matters, yeah, I'd much rather be here. Even with this calamity, never is there a thought of throwing someone under the bus or blaming someone. It's just, let's put our heads together, how do we solve this? Luckily, they have lead strategist Ali on the case with them. Till next time, thanks for watching.